Let him cook. Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said let him cook.
James Sapphire has officially made his return to the internet, and somehow things are even stranger than before. Now, I'm sure I don't have to introduce anyone here to James. The initial video I made about him a bit over a year ago now is by far my biggest video, and YouTube lets me know that almost half of my subscribers are from that video alone. So I definitely owe a lot to James on that front, but even further than that, I can genuinely and confidently say that I am also just a James Sapphire fan, and I'm excited to see him make a return to social media. And I'm also clearly not the only one who thinks that, with James already putting up TikToks with well over millions of plays just in a few days. People in the comments saying the king has returned, and I don't think people realize how revolutionary this is for the unemployed. We truly are up right now. And yeah, people have been anticipating when and if James is going to make a return. He had seemed to have given up the black pill completely. In 2024, he gained some weight, started doing psychedelics a lot, and converted to Hinduism, as any true PSLH should do. But he since seemed to have lost some weight, straightened his hair, and this week has decided to make his entrance back to social media, and things are a little bizarre. A lot bizarre, especially regarding his mother, which I will get into later. He's now posting to a TikTok page named James Sapphire, where he is seemingly going for a whole rock star satanic aesthetic here. Now, personally, I'm not rocking with Satan on that front, okay? Christ is king in my eyes, but I will say James is talented in cultivating aesthetics, and I do think this whole new style he's going for is interesting, and he does do it well. We've seen from a lot of James' other music videos, his editing style, and whole visual art approach connected to the James Sapphire persona that he does know how to create a compelling look to go along with a character, at least in my eyes. I would not be surprised if James were to drop a new rock or metal adjacent single in the next couple weeks. He could again push on TikTok and revitalize his music career. James Sapphire rock album when? But James is once again coming for the crown at the Looksmaxxing throne, calling out a TikToker Cookie King. Now, I'm unsure on who Cookie King is completely, but he just seems to have been a popular TikToker who had lost some weight and started taking better care of himself and grew a following in the Looksmaxxing community. Yeah, I'm not that terminally online to actually give a shit. He seems fine, but hey, James Sapphire I do think is at the very least the most interesting in the Looksmaxxing circle, so if there is a king, it should be him. He also seems to be heavily working with another popular Looksmaxxer, Syrian Psycho. It seems he has, at least in some aspect, a hand in the revival of James's career, and maybe the two are planning to psyop the internet back into caring about the black pill, which has been kind of dying as a trend as of late. But either way, James seems at least coherent again, and psychologically there enough to start uploading again, which is a good thing regardless of his persona. James had been heavily struggling before this, a lot of which drug-induced, which he may still be doing, but at least from an outsider looking in, he seems a lot more rational now than he did a year ago. Part of which I'd at least hope to attribute to his new love interest. Yes, there is a Mrs. Sapphire now. James is no longer an incel. But sometime in 2024, James had been dating a new girl who may be the cause of this whole Satan thing he has going on now. She seems pretty edgy herself. All those face piercings are a bit out there for sure, but they do seem pretty happy together, and I'd like to hope she's a good influence on James. Every video I've seen of them together, both of them seem happy. Sometimes all it takes is a girl who matches your energy to get you out of a rut, so maybe this is the role she's been providing for James, but that's just hypothetical, okay? They could both be extremely toxic for all I know. James Sapphire's mother has also made a new video uncovering some James Sapphire lore, which which, if true, is very interesting. I'm just going to talk about what she said because this woman does not seem to be stable in any right, and I don't think a person as messed up as she is can be a reliable source for anything. But she does reveal several things, particularly involving James' father, saying that not only is James' father alive, but he is of half African American descent, making James 25% black. I mean, it really should have been more obvious. We all saw his sick dance moves. That clearly can only be the work of a mixed king. But seriously, she does claim that his father is alive and presumably still living in Florida, where his mother claims they are originally from. She also says that his father is an ex-Marine as well as a nuclear engineer, which, as someone currently studying to be an engineer, is pretty cool if I do say so myself. She also says that he has 2 degrees in engineering, forgetting what the second one is, which I'm unsure of the logistics of. Maybe he has a master's in nuclear engineering and got his bachelor's in some other engineering discipline, but it wouldn't make any sense to have 2 separate bachelors in engineering rationally or financially. Maybe his father was super dedicated to the craft and willing to fork out a whole other X amount of money for a second degree, but that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Regardless, although she does call his father a drunk, he does seem to have been the more stable of the two as a parent, considering she says in this video that she gave James a meth at a certain point in his youth. Yeah, I can't stress enough that this lady seems like an awful parent, and James is completely and utterly justified to want nothing to do with her anymore. In fact, if the things she's saying are true, I think she should be in prison. She claims to be working on a book that will discuss James' early life in its entirety, which I don't think will ever happen and definitely shouldn't. James definitely has a good case to sue if she does, not that his mother seems like she has any money to begin with. She also goes into a story where she robbed a convenience store thinking she was Moses and inherited everything in America, presumably from God. This landed his mother in a mental institution where she has since been medicated, but this woman definitely has more than a few screws loose, and I wouldn't take anything she's saying verbatim. Mental illness definitely seems to run in James' family, and his mother also claims that James is messed up on pills currently, which, if true, is pretty disheartening. He seemed to have been on a better streak, at least for a while there. I know quitting drugs is extremely difficult, but I hope this newfound goal to get back on the internet as his old persona can at least be a motivator to ease the pedal on hard drug use in James' life. All in all, James Sapphire's return to social media is very interesting to me, and I'm curious to see where he goes from here. I think James has the potential to become a legitimately very popular social media character if he makes all the right moves. His story is quite intriguing, and he can be a very alluring character that I think he can find very lucrative so long as he sticks at it. But knowing James, only time can tell for that, and I wish him the best of luck. And other than that, that's about gonna wrap up the video. If you did enjoy, remember to leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'm working on another video currently that should go up sometime in the near future, so stay tuned for that. I really just want to kind of get this video up there because I saw James start posting to social media, and obviously that being the biggest video on my channel, I just thought I should get a video out on the subject. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments, and yeah, have a good one, y'all.